Your next video going to be about? Next video is about Fear and Hunger 2. I am currently playing a lot of Fear and Hunger 2, and I decided to start my new playthrough with Levi. And you know what's harder than playing Fear and Hunger 2? Playing Fear and Hunger 2 with a character that is addicted to heroin. That's a challenge. Why not while you stream? Because I want to get really intimate with Fear and Hunger 2. Well, that's gonna come across as weird. Because I will stream some Fear and Hunger 2 at some point, but I really want to learn that game and take my time with it and really like kind of do things with it that wouldn't be fun on stream. So one of the things I'm doing right now is I am doing a character map. If you're familiar with Fear and Hunger 2, it takes place across 3 days, and there's like 14 other active characters in the game at any time, and it's like Majora's Mask style. They all have like a timeline that they follow. They all exist in the world at any particular time. So like one thing I'm doing right now is I'm mapping out where each character is at what time. So if it's day 2 in the morning, I know Olivia is at the train. If it's like day 2 in the afternoon, I know that Marco and Sanada and Pav are at the steps that are at the entrance of Priaville. Some of it's like kind of mundane work, but I want to experience the game like really close up and like kind of intricate in a way that I don't think would be very fun to watch me stream. And also, like, when I'm streaming, I'm performing, and it's tiring, you know, like, it takes it out of me, and sometimes I just want to kind of get lost in the game, because, like, right now, I feel like I don't like Fear and Hunger 2 as much as Fear and Hunger 1, but I also think a part of that is because when I was playing Fear and Hunger 1, like, I wasn't performing. I was just, like, getting lost in the game and enjoying it. And so I want to spend a little time with Fear and Hunger 2 like that. Although I will actually stream it. Like, I will stream it for you guys. Performing, this isn't the real you, John. So this is the real me. But I think one thing that people don't understand about YouTube and any online content creator is that the second they are looking into a camera, they are performing. Like, right now, I am performing for you guys. Now, like, I'm still, like, being me, and I'm not going to say anything that, like, I don't actually say or believe, but the version of me that you're getting right now is not, like, what it's like to hang out with me. It's not like... So, like, Michelle could watch this stream, and she would find it weird, because she knows me in this complete other context. When you're experiencing, like, a YouTube video of mine, you are getting my genuine thoughts, but you are getting those thoughts pushed through this entire editing and scripting process. And this is kind of different. Like, right now, I'm being careful to look into the camera. So that it feels like I'm looking at you. And that's not natural to me. Like, looking into the camera like this isn't something that I understood at first. And if you go back and watch my face reveal video, you can watch about how, like, I'm just constantly doing this and this and this and looking around. And, like, looking into the camera in a way that's, like, engaging to people is something I had to learn. Another thing I had to learn is, like, keeping an eye on the chat, like, looking and seeing what people are saying. That's not like, a natural thing. But then there's also things that, like, there's parts of my life that I'm just not going to ever discuss online, you know, in the way I would with, like, a close friend. And, like, you know, I don't, like, show pictures of Michelle. I don't, like, talk about certain things from my past, or, like, you know, just like a bunch of stuff. And so, like, you are getting, like, an edited performative version of me, you know, like, that is kind of what you're experiencing. And, like, when I meet someone out in real life, like a fan, like, I got recognized the day before yesterday, like, I will immediately snap into, like, social media influencer, where I'll be like, oh, hey, how's it going? And I'm not doing that because, like, I'm fake or whatever. I'm doing it because, like, if I meet someone, if someone says hello, I immediately, because they watch my videos, I immediately want to turn, like, the friendliness and, like, the jokes up to, like, 100. Because for this 30 seconds that this person is meeting me, I want them to have a good time. You know, I want them to to feel like, oh, I met Super Eyepatch Wolf, and like they were really nice, and like they seemed cool, and like we took a photo or whatever, and it was all chill, like I want that to be a nice experience. Because one thing I've kind of learned, and God, I'll never forget this, right? Years ago, I can't even remember who, I had hung out with some other YouTuber, and this person was like telling a story about me on Twitter. And it was like just a funny, weird story, whatever it was. And it was sweet. Like it was a nice thing for them to say. And then I got this comment below it, right? And it said about my friends met Eyepatch Wolf twice, and they were really rude to them both times. I always hear they're a nice person, but I've never been able to understand this. And that got to me. Like I read that comment, and it really, really bothered me. And I was trying to think, like, what interaction could that have possibly been? Like, because I really do try and like just, give people a nice interaction and like chat to them, ask them how their days go, and ask them about like the kind of media they like and stuff. And like for the life of me, like I'm not just saying this, I genuinely could not guess at what interaction that was. And it really bothered me. And then like I asked the person like, oh, weird, like who is your friend and like in what context did we meet? And then they just deleted their comments, which like I wasn't trying to spook them into deleting their comments or anything. But it really bothered me. It really, really bothered me, I went to Wooly and I asked him about it. And I was like, has anything like this ever happened to you? And Wooly just got this far off look in his eyes. And he just goes, yeah, that'll happen. So we were talking about it. And he goes, I don't know why it happens. But he says that he has gotten so many messages where he will meet someone. And I've been around Wooly, like meeting people all the time. I have met hundreds of people by Wooly's side. And I always think Wooly's great with people. I always think he's really friendly. I always think he really makes the effort to like give people a good experience. And he basically said to me that that was probably a thing where you were heading from one panel to another panel. You had to be there, you had to set up, you had to do something, and that someone came up to you and you were like, oh, hey, how's it going? And then you're walking and they're walking after you and you're like, yeah, okay, cool. Would you like a photo or anything? Or just like there's some like rushed part of the exchange that they end up interpreting it as like you being rude or you like not wanting to talk to them. I can understand that a little bit, but I also think Wooly had an alternate theory as well, and it was that sometimes people build up these interactions with you so much that they're just hypersensitive to every single part of it. So like I've had people come up to me before. It's nearly like they have a script in their head for how they want the conversation to go. It can be a bit strange, because like I've literally had people, and this has happened more than once. I've had people come up and be like, Eyepatch Wolf, hi, I've been watching your videos for a really long time. I'll be like, oh, hey, how's it going? And they'll be like, yeah, I saw this one moment from one of your videos. And I'll be like, oh, okay, cool. Because like honestly, I don't really give a shit about talking about my videos. I'm not super interested in talking about them. I am more interested in like having an actual, conversation with the person and seeing like, oh, hey, like, how's the con been for you so far? Or like, how's your day going? Just whatever. But some people will be like, no, some people will actually stop me and be like, I'm sorry, I have to say this. And then I'm like, oh, okay, and then they'll kind of say what they need to say and they'll move on or whatever. There's other people where sometimes I feel like they expect me to react a certain way. And like when I say certain people, I'm talking like 1 in 100 people. Like these kind of interactions I'm talking about, they are so rare, and like genuinely I have met so many like lovely people, but I think sometimes people just want the interaction to go a certain way and then it kind of doesn't. I think maybe sometimes people come up and they nearly expect that you're going to be like best friends from this like 40-second interaction. That's not really like possible, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's a weird one, but I think back to that. But it does, like, I guess that's what made me think a lot about like the idea of performance and how once a camera is on you and once you are being observed, there's only so authentic you can be, because like I like with streams like this, like if I like to keep it fun and I like to kind of joke around with you guys and have a good time, and I don't like to like if something's going wrong in my personal life, I'd kind of rather just leave that over there. And I like to think that, like, you know, I'm pretty transparent with you guys, and I try and, like, you know, be as genuine as I can be. But then there's some stuff I just can't be genuine about. Like, sometimes it's work stuff, sometimes it's people I know, sometimes it's people, like, it's not worth it for me. You know what I mean? Like, so one of the things would be, like, say I know someone, and say, like, I am publicly connected with someone. And if someone in chat, and if something, like, controversial happens with them, and someone in chat asks me about it, I'm probably just not going to address it, because what happens then is all of a sudden, like, I am pulled into whatever controversy that's about, and I would rather just stream and have fun. You know, I would rather just enjoy myself, and you guys don't need my opinion on whatever the fucking, like, drama of the day is. You know what I mean? So, like, that's an example where if you were just a friend of mine or we were hanging out next to each other, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's weird, and I'd talk about it. But, like, on stream, I don't want to talk about stuff that I know is going to create a problem for me in the future, or is going to make me not want to stream, or mean that I get involved in a bunch of stupid fucking bullshit drama that I actually don't care about, you know? And so sometimes it's like, I remember before as well that I was watching this dude. I don't want to say who he is, and this was years ago. But I remember he had a point in videos. He was just starting to blow up, right? He was having this point where he was saying about, like, the reason you guys watch me is because I'm not like other YouTubers. I'm real. I'm genuine, and I tell you guys like it is. And one of the examples he gave was, my DMs will always be open on Twitter. My DMs will always be open on Twitter, and I will always respond to every fan who ever writes to me. And I kind of just sat back a little bit, and I was like, okay, let's see how long that lasts. His DMs were closed in, I would say, 2 months, right? Like, that is how quickly they were closed, because you cannot fathom the shit you people will send you through DMs. Just, like, the most insane, crazy shit that I have ever seen. I would say that, like, people have sent me, like, stuff in DMs that has genuinely, like, mentally scarred me in a way that, like, I just will never engage with DMs in, like, any public forum ever again. And I think people sometimes see, like, that a YouTuber has closed DMs, and they'll be like, oh, they think they're so fucking big, like, they're not going to interact with their fans. No, it's because I have seen shit in DMs that you cannot possibly fathom. It's just, yeah, goddamn right I'm gonna close DMs, because I don't want to see that stuff. You know, like, I don't want to get those messages from people. And I think a certain amount of being a YouTuber and being, like, a public figure and being someone online is, like, insulating yourself from kind of exchanges like that. And so, like, yeah, a certain amount of it is just, like, you're trying to protect yourself. You're trying to insulate yourself and make sure that, like, you know, these things can't come across your desk, because some of it can be vile. And then, like, you know, there's people sending threats, and there's people, there's a lot of people out there with a lot of different ideas about who you are and what they want out of you, and it's fucking crazy. Like, it's completely crazy. And so eventually you are going to get to this point where I think you have to accept that what people are reacting to is an idea of you. It is not you. It is this persona that you have created online. And I'm absolutely like that. Like, there is the super Eyepatch Wolf persona. There is the final gamer persona. There is the persona of John on Eyepatch Wolves. They are all me, but none of them are 100% authentic, because they can't be. You know, I can't. A human being, a fucking human soul, cannot authentically live in social media. The process of existing on social media makes genuine authenticity impossible. But then it's like, okay, what's actually authentic then? I would say that if you know me for, like, 10 years, or you know anyone for, like, 10 years, and you interact with them, like, a fair bit over those years, you will have an authentic impression of that person. That's not what social media is. Even if you listen to my podcasts every day, you listen to my streams every day, I am performing. This is a performance, you know? And that doesn't need to be a bad thing. That's not inauthentic. It's an authentic kind of performance, but it's still a performance, is what I mean. So yeah, that is my long, crazy ramble on why social media influencers are so fucking weird. Maybe that's what we'll call the video, Fox. I have no idea, but I hope that makes sense. So you don't like wrestling? I've never watched wrestling. It's for children. It's a type of entertainment for children. Yeah, I don't watch wrestling. I haven't like written a Super Eyepatch Wolf video since like 2016. No, there's a very talented group of young men, and I think a couple of women living in Sweden who write the Super Eyepatch Wolf videos. I haven't recorded my own voice for a video since 2018, since we basically just loaded a bunch of clips of me into a big AI machine, and the AI basically just pumps out the narration, and then the videos go to an editing house, I think in LA, and they get edited that way. So yeah, I don't really have anything to do with Super Eyepatch Wolf anymore. What was the last video on? Fake video games. What the fuck is even that? Fake video. What was the one before that? What the fuck is Void Stranger? Yep, weird. Weird. Very strange.